Hey my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. So I just wanted to come on here real quick to talk about I suppose my second testimony for this academic year for my first year in university. Sorry, just before before we go on, sorry if it's a little bit shaky. I am holding my camera. I'm obviously not in my usual location. Am I ever usually in the usual? Yeah, but anyway, yeah. I tried. I wanted to do a vlog, but it didn't really work out because by the time I had finished everything, I then realized, oh, I could have done a vlog. So yeah, I am trying to do these vlogs, but it doesn't ever actually seem to work. But you know, we'll get better. We'll see how this works. But yes, so this is going to be another episode of Dear Video. Come on, this is going to be another episode of Dear Video Journal. I suppose we'll call it Uni Testimony Part 2 for the same year. Yeah. So there's actually, I want, hopefully it's not gonna be too long, but I want to talk about three things. So the first thing is about staying at the glassworks. A lot of there have been a lot of challenges staying at the glassworks. A lot of spiritual battles and even just physical battles and monetary battles that I've had to go through for this first year of university that I have been through, especially through the glassworks. If you have not seen my first uni testimony, I'll link it in the above. You guys can go watch that. But yeah, so in that other video, I did talk about how I struggled to find an accommodation to in this uni that I'm in right now because I decided to go through clearing. Even though I had my firm and insurance, I decided to go through clearing. So yeah, so fast forward, I I got this accommodation, and I was so grateful for it. And going through the year at that accommodation, I realized that I had a lot of this sort of battle started to come. During it, I was a bit like, okay, so God, why are these things happening? Why have you allowed these things to happen? But after going through it and after some certain after having talks with my pastors and my spiritual, I call her my spiritual mother. I don't think she doesn't know that yet because I've not, yeah, but I call her my spiritual mother. I realized that, you know, God wanted growth, and that God is a God of growth. He wants to grow you. He doesn't want you to be in the same place that you are, the same place that, that He found you in, or that you started that relationship with Him in. So yeah, so I had this spiritual battle. So my flatmates, I don't really want to say this out loud because they're children, and I don't know the viewers who are going to view my channel, my videos. So I suppose viewer discrepancy is advised. So yeah, my flatmate next door. Obviously, none of my flatmates are Christians, so they don't really have that value or belief that I do, and I wasn't really expecting them to either. But they'll always be doing, they'll always be getting intimate with each other, and I didn't realize up until this year how intimate people can really get on a day-to-day basis, and they'll always be doing that, like probably three, how many times they would be doing that. And it got to a point where it started affecting me spiritually, where I would be lying in bed and all of a sudden this body like feeling would be on me. And at first I thought maybe it's just God's showing that He has His protection on me, because the first thing that I thought of when something like that would happen was protect in that particular situation, and I would be wondering what's going on. But obviously now I realize that it's a spiritual battle, not anything. Not but yeah, and there would just be times, and there was one time I was just about to fall asleep. They had gone out to wherever they had gone out to, and I was just about to fall asleep. And as soon as I was about to fall asleep, I heard the door to our flat open, and as soon as he stepped in, it's like it just played in my mind. As soon as he stepped in, there was this spirit that just came upon me. So there was this spirit that came upon me, and I've really struggled to open my mouth and to say anything. And usually when something like that happens, when you feel oppressed and you feel like you can't move or you can't speak, you know, the first thing you're supposed to do is to say the name Jesus. And but I was really struggling to say that. So I think the way that I got out of that one was I had to say it in my head first. I had to keep saying it in my head before I finally was able to speak it out loud. And then as soon as I said the name Jesus out loud, you know, that spirit just went like that. But it was just things like that. It was just there were just these different scenarios, different this yeah, situations that I found myself in because of what they were doing next door. And this is just one of the many things that to tell you that being intimate with someone is definitely a spiritual thing. I think I'll talk about that in another video, maybe, I'm not sure. But I might do. And but the funny thing is that it affected me, and I wasn't even the one doing it, but it really affected me. So I suppose, but through that though, I've been able to be a lot stronger in my spiritual. I've been I've become spiritually stronger. And I suppose without those things happening, though it was uncomfortable, though I didn't understand it, it really did help me grow spiritually. And yeah, so that's the first thing. Second thing is paying my rent. So going into, like I said before in my other video, I struggled to find accommodation, and the accommodations, there was two options. There was either this one or another accommodation that I could have got that my friend ended up getting, but it was going to be the same price. So I decided to get this one. And I definitely picked the right choice, though, even though it's so small, but I still picked the right choice. Anyway, and going into this contract, into this accommodation, I knew that I was going to struggle with financing the rent, because my student finance was definitely lower than it should have been, and that was mainly because there were some documents that I didn't realize that I hadn't sent. But anyways, so it was getting closer to, I think, the first two installments, because we pay in installments in our rent. So the first two installments that I had to pay, I was able to pay it, fine with that. But then it was approaching, I think it was the third installment, and that was the biggest installments as well. And I didn't, and this is the time where I really just didn't have the money, because obviously student finance didn't give me the amount that I suppose I was entitled to. So I had to find ways to get it, and I couldn't really get a job because the way my what do you call it, my academic timetabling is that it changes every week, so no week is the same. So really getting a job was not going to help me at all. So yeah, and I was really struggling to see how I was going to be able to pay for the rent. So I went to obviously my school financing department and asked them for a grant, because there is a grant that we are entitled to if our accommodation is too high for us to pay. And I went to that, and then in through that process is when I realized that actually my student finance, the amount that student finance is giving me isn't the right amount, and that I could actually ask for more, and through that I managed to get more, and in time as well to pay the next rent. So I'm grateful to God for that, because I came into this contract knowing fully well that I was not going to be able to pay for it all with the money that I had at the beginning. But I still trusted God. I still was like, God, I'm here, and I know that this is a place where you want me to be. Because you told me time and time again that this is where you want me to be. And so yeah, so I'm just grateful for the fact that I was able to pay the rent, and I have now finished in and this contract is nearly finishing. I'll be finishing this month, actually. Not like you needed to know that. But yes, so I'm just grateful for that. That's the second testimony that I am able to do, that I'm able to talk about. And the third and final one is to do with my grades and getting into next year. And like I've said in another video, so I'll probably link that video up there. I don't know which one it is, I said, but I'll find it and I'll link it and put it in the eye. And this video, I talked about how, my anxiety was, actually, I think I said in two videos, but I talked about how my anxiety was definitely, was very controlling, and my fear of a lot of things was very controlling, and it really affected how I lived my life and how I did a lot of things, especially in my exams, and little things would just start to get me stressed and get me worked up. So that affected the way my grades came out in the end. They weren't bad, but they weren't what I wanted. I mean, they were passes, but they weren't what I wanted. Well, not all of them. There's some of them actually I did quite well. I did well in some of them, but anyways, but yeah. So from those times, that was from GCSEs all the way to A levels. So after going through those times, and now coming to university, I wanted there to be a change, and I wanted it to not be the same way. I didn't want to go into exams and do exams the same way I did for GCSE and A levels, and that's exactly what I did, with God's help. And after I'd done all my exams, and the wait to see my grades and to see how I did, it was I feel like I forced, being scared and being anxious about getting bad grades. Oh, my arm's actually hurting me, and it's just my phone. But yeah, because oh my days, there was this piece about just my exams and going through my exams, even waiting to get my exams, even on the day when my exam results, came out. There was this piece about me, but at the same time, there was this really small fear of maybe I didn't do well. I think that's just human emotions. So in all, God was telling me, you did fine. Because I definitely made sure that I brought him through each and every aspect of it. I might do a video on how I prepared for my exams and how I did my exams. I think I've done a video, but it's not really the type of video that I'm thinking of doing. So this one's more how I, asked God to help me through, and how I prayed for God to walk me through my exams type thing. But I don't know, I might do that, I'm not sure. If you want me to do that, put it in the comments below and I will definitely do that. But yeah, and this the way I did my exams this time was just, it was so breezy, so easy. Usually, I'll be stressed about exams, I'll be coming out of exams, I'll be stressed, I'll be thinking, when did we learn this topic or something like that. Or sometimes I actually forget what it is I did. I still did actually this time, but I don't even know if it makes sense. But yes, but this time, in each and every exam, I came out smiling. I even went into the exam smiling. Even during the exam, I was smiling. I was happy. I actually had to force myself not to sing or dance in my seat. But yes, and it's just been God through it all, and I came out with first classes, and 2-1 as well, but I'm obviously going to do better than that. And yes, so I'm just so grateful for God for helping me through it, and just helping to keep my anxiety and fear at bay. And I'm so grateful is all I can say, really. But yeah, yes, so I have been accepted into next year, and yeah, so come on this journey and let's see how second year is going to be. I feel like second year is going to be so much better, and I can't wait to see how it is, even with my singing as well. That's another testimony. Let me do that real quick, because there's something, I just love singing, I love worshiping God. I love drawing people closer to God through worship and through singing. And my singing has just gotten a lot better. There's been some different I suppose situations and difficulties that I've had with singing on stage and just singing in general, but now it's just I don't know, God is just doing wonders, and I can't wait to see how it turns out in the end. But yes, I can't wait, actually, after this 3 years of my university experience. It's going to be amazing, but we'll see. But yes, let's do this. But yeah, oh, it's so hot in here as well. But thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed that testimony. I hope it really encouraged you guys with whatever situation you may be going through, whether you're in GCSE, A levels, or even in uni. Just keep keeping God in the middle of your situations, and he definitely does help you. And you know, I'm loving the way every day how God, you know, uses our situation, how he shows himself in each and every of our situation. Even today, actually, when my sister hears this, which should be quite funny. It's such a small thing though, but I needed tissue, and I was like half asleep. I needed tissue because I wanted to blow my nose, and something had happened before that my sister was like, you know, you've been horrible to me. I didn't actually do anything. All I did was tell her off for being horrible to my other sister. But anyway, but yeah, she was like, oh, you've been horrible to me, and I'm not gonna go get tissue. But I was too tired to stand up, so I was like, you know what? Okay, that's fine, do that. And then in my head, I was like, because I had, yeah, but in my head I was like, okay, God, my sister refuses to go and get me tissue, and I really need to blow my nose, and I really cannot. I just don't feel like standing up. And God was like, forgive her first, though. You need to forgive her. You need to forgive her. And I was like, okay, I forgive her. I forgive her. And the God was like, no, you're not fully forgiven her, because at this, when I was saying I forgive her, you know, when I said that I had forgiven her, I was still thinking of ways that I was going to, like, you know, show her what she did wasn't right. So in a way, revenge. Because like you haven't forgiven her. So like, okay, you know what? I forgive her later after she's given me the tissue. So some minutes passed, and I realized, I was like, okay, actually that's true. I don't want to have this. I don't want to hold this, you know, anger on the inside of me, or this frustration or irritation on the inside of me. So I was like, okay, fine, Father, I forgive her. I fully forgive her. I'm not gonna try and teach her a lesson. And I was like, and then after that, I think 2 minutes but went by, and then all of a sudden I hear my sister standing up from the bed, and then I hear the toilet door open, and then she brings me tissue, and but then she dumps it on the bed. She said, "Here you go." I was like, "Oh wow!" I was like, "Wow, this actually worked." As in, I just told you off. I just told you off. Yeah, I just told you off. By God, I just told God about you know, telling you off to God, and it actually worked. And I was like, okay. I mean, it's such a small thing, but you know, it kind of like set. I didn't really know how to explain it, but yeah. So you know, even the little things that it just goes to show that even little things that you know that you are struggling with, whether it's as little as wanting your sister to get you tissue to blow your nose, you know, God does care about it, and he does want you to tell him about whatever situation you may be going through. But yes, I hope that helps you guys, and I hope it does, you know, shed some light on whatever situation you may be going through and how to handle that situation. But yes, thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to check out my other videos, and subscribe to my channel. Also hit the bell button to know when my next video comes out, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you guys for watching. Bye, my lovelies. Mwah.